What's up, boys and girls? Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm gonna adjust my volume, make sure my volume's up as high as it'll go. Make sure. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so today is Monday, September the 14th, 2020. And this right here is a map of the Atlantic Ocean. We are right there. Okay, and as you can see, we've got some low pressures out there. You can see there's Hurricane Paulette, there's Hurricane Sally about to hit Louisiana, probably sometime today, tonight, and then we have Hurricane Renee out here, which is really small. It doesn't look like it's going to do much. And then we have 20L and 97L. Those are called invests, which basically means planes are going to go fly through there and investigate them and see if they're going to be a good match to try to make a hurricane. There's all kinds of stuff in the recipe that makes a hurricane. So they're flying through there right now. As you can see, they're already low pressure. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems in the Atlantic right now, which is abnormal. It's not normal for us to have that many. Generally, we only have 1 or 2. But on Friday, this past Friday, that was the tip of hurricane season. That was the middle point where we have most of the hurricanes, and as you can see, we've got 3 of them out there right now, and 2 that are being investigated. So there's a lot of activity going on at the moment. Now, Sally is probably going to hit as a 1 or a Category 2 storm. Probably about like Isaias, give or take 10 miles per hour on the wind. Paulette doesn't look like it's going to hit any land. It's going to be stuck out in the ocean, and Renee as well. These other 2 down at the bottom, we don't really know. They're a long way off. I'll just go ahead and show you. For next week, you can see, and this is not Paulette. I'm going to take you through these next days. So here's today. So here's tomorrow. This is just an idea of where these storms are going. So Paulette moves, Sally's hitting land, and Renee and these other 2 are just still kind of out there. So you can see Paulette has moved from right here all the way up to there. Sally has hit land. Still is a hurricane, it looks like. And then this Invest 20L looks like it's really getting its act together. And look, even down there, there's something they could start looking at as well. That's a low pressure spinning. Then Thursday, see, so Paulette is all the way gone, and now we got this 20L, and this will probably be a named storm by the time it gets to this point, because look, it's got 90-some mile an hour winds. Friday, Saturday. Let's go now. Let's go to Monday. I'm going to show you something. So here's Monday, and you can see this storm right here. It's not named yet. This is just a projection. It's sitting about where Paulette was sitting this today. So this is next Monday. This is a projection. You can see another low out there. You can see this thing right here. That is a big cold front that's going to bring us a bunch of cold weather. Now, why am I showing this to you? I'm showing this to you because I want you guys to understand the stages of development of a hurricane, okay? A lot of people think that just a hurricane pops up, boom, hurricane, it's gonna kill you. It's not true. There's stages to development of a hurricane, and once it becomes a hurricane, then there's other stages to kind of tell you how bad it's gonna be. So for this first one, this tropical depression, that is the first thing that gets named. Okay, so I would say that something like this guy right here is a tropical depression. 97L, they're not quite tropical depressions. Their wind speed's not high enough, but that's like a tropical depression. 0 to 39 mile an hour winds, but they are low pressures and they got the ability to kind of grow. Now the next one, the tropical storm right here, the second one, if the tropical depression reaches tropical storm status, then it gets named. Tropical Storm Irene, Tropical Storm Sam, whatever the name is coming up. And these winds go from 39 to 74 miles per hour. So as soon as the winds of this tropical depression hit 39, then they're going to start turning into a tropical storm. We've been hit by numerous tropical storms. Tropical storms don't bring tons and tons of wind, they bring tons and tons of moisture. So they can be really, really dangerous as well. And then when you get to 74 plus miles per hour, you turn into a hurricane. Okay, so you go from the tropical storm Irene to the hurricane Irene, or whatever name it is. Now, once you get to the hurricane stage, there are certain categories that hurricanes are broken into, and there's 5 different categories. So the first one, where is it? Okay, so the first one is what Isaias was, minimal damage. We had winds 74 to 95 miles an hour, storm surge of 4 to 5 feet, probably had some branches down, probably had some trouble with the power going on and off, nothing too severe. The next day the grocery stores were open, so it wasn't that bad to where we couldn't get to the grocery store. Okay, now a 2, which is what Sally's probably going to hit the Gulf Coast with today. That's a little bit worse. The winds go up about 10 to 15 miles more an hour. You have a larger storm surge, and you can get roof damage, small trees down. You can definitely have some extensive flooding. Okay, a 1 and a 2 are not considered major hurricanes. They're just considered hurricanes. Now, when you start getting into 3, 4, and 5, that's when damage really starts to mount up. So I remember years ago we got hit by a 3, Hurricane Fran, and it was horrible. There were so many trees down, people's roofs were damaged. There was no power for like 7 to 8 days. So it was a horrible, horrible storm. It messed this place up really bad. Really deep sand at Wrightsville Beach, about 3 foot high sand in the streets. So there was a lot of water moving around when that happened. Now that was the worst one I've ever gone through, as a 3. We had a 4 here back in the 50s. It was Hurricane Hazel. Some of your great grandparents might remember that. That was a major, major storm, and it caused major, major damage. That was the only 4 that's hit around here, I think, ever. We've never had a 5, knock on wood. We don't want a 5. If a 5 goes through, it kind of looks like a tornado has torn up your area. It is extensive damage. You're talking about winds of 155 miles an hour plus. So you could get up to 200 mile an hour winds. The winds on the storm, Hurricane Laura, that just hit Houston and Louisiana 2 weeks ago, had wind gusts of 175, 180 miles an hour. So that caused catastrophic damage. If you lived anywhere near the coast, you more than likely probably got some roof damage, got your roof blown off, got trees down, probably major flooding. Causes just tons and tons and tons of problems. A 5 will set your town back years because you've got to rebuild everything. Okay, so when they start talking about a hurricane coming,